Competitive dance is a demanding sport. It calls for cardiorespiratory endurance, power, agility, and the strength to do it all gracefully. I've been privileged to follow the competitive dance team from Brigham Young University, Idaho, known as Dance Alliance, to be present at multiple practices and to speak with the director and his assistant about the needs of the dancers.
Well, our goals are to avoid injury, first of all,
Yeah.
and to enable them to do what's needed within our show. There are certain parts of our show that are extremely rigorous, and other parts that are less so. We have some parts of our dances that are a lot of acrobatics, tumbling, or lifting, and those require certain specific strength.
Something that's interesting with that as well is even when you're not on stage during the entire time, backstage is pretty crazy as well, going from costume changes to trying to grab water or ice if you have had an injury at all, and so you're usually running behind the curtains.
It's very active,
when you're not on
you're
stage.
stretching and you're preparing for your next number off stage, that kind of thing.
Ryan and Redding said, dancers are not adequately physiologically prepared to perform to the same degree to which their skills are honed. Supplemental training is required to bridge the physical gap and better prepare the dancer for performance. While it is my perspective that the Dance Alliance team has a quality training program, as evident by years of continual success, in this video I would like to outline 7 different exercises that I have designed to help the dancers to reduce their risk of injury and hone their training even more for greater sport-specific transfer to the demands of competitive performance.
For men, I think we do a lot more with lifting and stuff, so upper body strength is quite important for men. But overall, it's really lower trunk and legs and calves.
The first exercise is the Turkish get-up. This exercise is well suited for competitive dance for its demands on core stability, spatial awareness, and to train the dancer to move smoothly while supporting weight overhead. Liebenson and Schaffness suggest that the Turkish get-up not only improves motor control needed for daily activities, occupation, and sports, but because of its functional and total body movements, it is becoming more applicable in preventative and even rehabilitative injury management. This exercise is performed by starting on your back with one knee bent and one leg extended. The bent knee is on the same side as the arm you are holding the weight with. Keep your opposite arm at a 45-degree angle, flat on the floor. Hold the weight close to your chest and then press it upward directly overhead, keeping your arm extended upright throughout the entire exercise. Shift your weight onto your opposite arm using your elbow for support or stabilizing directly on your forearm, and then go to your palm for support. Bridge the hips up and carefully bring your extended leg around under you until you're in the kneeling position on that knee, allowing you to stand up all the way. Carefully repeat the process in reverse order to return to the starting position. The next exercise is the burpee into the 20-yard dash. Being present at the Dance Alliance practice sessions, I saw a lot of sprinting from one side of the dance floor to the other, rushed by the auditory cues and tempo of the music. Often the dancers would start from the prone position by virtue of how the posture and positioning of their previous acrobatic or dance skill put them. This exercise is performed by starting in the push-up position, powerfully shortening the hip flexors with both feet making stable contact with the floor so that the body begins to stand up. One hip should be flexed greater than the other, so the feet are in a staggered position with one in front of the other, akin to a running stance, from which the dancer can propel the body forward into a powerful 20-yard sprint. This exercise demands reaction time, power, and speed. The hips receive explosive training as they flex from the push-up position and explosive extension as the dancer fully stands up into a sprint. The third exercise is the burpee broad jump. The purpose of this exercise is to train core stability, explosive hip action, powerful jumping and agility, and to incorporate cardiorespiratory training specific to the intervals the dancers would experience during performance. This exercise is performed by starting in the push-up position, powerfully shortening the hip flexors with both feet fully planted on the floor into a low squat posture. With a double arm action, the dancer powerfully extends his or her hips to jump forward, landing safely with both feet shoulder width apart and with the knees bending to control the jumping descent. It is then repeated for a distance of 50 to 100 yards, as fast as the dancer can, lasting anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes in duration of continuous work. It is important for the coach to stay cognizant of proper jumping and landing mechanics because of the long duration and fatiguing nature of this exercise. The next exercise is the pike jump. This exercise is designed to increase explosive vertical jumping power, enhance flexibility by powerfully flexing the hips and rectus abdominis muscle groups. It is performed by starting in the upright position with feet shoulder width apart. Knees bend as the body begins with a counter movement, employing a double arm action, explosive jump up. Keeping both legs straight and together, the dancer lifts them to the front and attempts to touch the toes with the hands, then quickly resuming the proper landing posture of both feet landing firmly on the ground, safely shoulder width apart. Having the capacity to repeat powerful, complex movements combining jumping, trunk and hip flexibility, and spatial awareness for good landing mechanics is frequently stressed in dance performance. This next exercise is the straight knee jump rope, or also known as the rebound jump rope. This exercise is derived from gymnastics and dance from a skill known as rebounding, where the dancer hops with the knees as straight as possible, keeping the jumping from ankle action. The purpose of rebounding is to serve as a landing mechanic from a high or a long jump. With a powerful jump comes a high amount of potential energy, which is transferred to kinetic energy upon landing. With rebounding, instead of absorbing the landing with bent knees, the potential energy from the jump is partially maintained, forcing the dancer back up into the air for another hop. This assists in stringing together multiple dance and acrobatic skills gracefully. Training for this in a rebound jump rope or a straight knee jump rope also strengthens the ankle stability, reducing the risk of injury common to recreational and competitive dancing. The next exercise is the lateral shuffle. A successful dance routine is one that is fluid to the tempo of the song, and this sort of athleticism is trained by including complex agility drills like lateral shuffling. Agility training emphasizes power, strength, acceleration, deceleration, coordination, and dynamic balance, which is developed by exploiting neuromuscular adaptations. This exercise is specific to the dance training of Dance Alliance because of a recurrent routine of a traditional Ukrainian dance that involves squatting low, all the while kicking, jumping, and scurrying forward, backward, and in lateral movements. For this specific lateral shuffle drill, I have the dancers shuffling for 15 yards, and then on the return, they assume a partial squat posture, and then for the third 15-yard bout, they assume a full squat posture, shuffling first in the upright, then in the partial squat, and then in the full squat. The seventh and final exercise is the drop jump. Moran and colleagues investigated methods of safely including plyometric training at the end of a workout, despite the nervous system already being fatigued. Normally, muscle acidosis, ischemia, or hypoxia diminishes the reflexive capacity of the muscle spindle, which is responsible for the stretch-shortening cycle that initiates the potential force of plyometric movement. A safe alternative to box jumps was demonstrated in drop jumps, although the coach is still required to be attentive to potential injuries and ensure proper landing mechanics.